Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us on the weekend. Happy New Year to all. This is our first meetup in 2024, and this is, I believe, is our 24th meetup from the time we have started. We have grown up to 2,600 members in Meetup and 3,000 followers on LinkedIn. Thank you to all. Just give a big round of applause to yourself for making it successful. Thank you. And just before going into introduction, I would like to call Lawrence from Google. He will speak on some initiative that Google has for the startups and for you guys. So, Lawrence, over to you.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, everyone. Hi, folks. Those who are standing over there eating a pizza, like, come on, you can grab your pizza and come and sit down. You know, yeah, make yourself comfortable. Yeah. Come on, okay. Yeah. Okay, hi, good evening, everyone. Okay, thank you so much for coming down. Today is Friday night, I know it's TGIF. So a lot of people might have activity after this. So, but please stay, okay? I think we have good content over here. So tell your friends that, they are listening and learning. Okay, now, okay, I'm Lawrence. May I know who is new to this group? This is the first time you're here. Wow, this is a lot. Okay, great. So that means the community is growing. Okay, so I do see some familiar faces. Yeah, there's over here. Okay, so I'm Lawrence. I'm actually from the Google Developer Relations team. So I manage this space as well as the partnership with our external communities. So Kubernetes is one of them. They have been our one of our long-lasting community partners. So and they are very 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 hardworking. So every month they are going to find two speakers, for all of you. So please, if you're into Kubernetes and your friends is into Kubernetes, please bring them over. Tell them there's a very good community over here. Come and ask them to come in over here and learn. Okay, yeah. And the thing is that we are also building our Telegram group chat. Okay, so we not just talk about Kubernetes. We also talk about data. We also talk about AI. So we actually, like yesterday, we also have this machine learning meetup. Okay, so we talk about AI and all the latest development. So if you're interested in all this, okay, please join our Telegram group chat. We'll post all the events up here. Okay, very nice. We are actually actively managing it, so it's very clean. So it's all information, and please sign up over there and then just join us. Okay. Yeah, so this is the one. So and if you miss this, right, we actually paste some of the QR code at the back. Okay, just scan it and join us. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, another thing is that like we also have this program for startups. So maybe one day, or maybe some of you already have thoughts of like creating a startup, right? So this program might be good for you. So this is a program where you can access all our Google Cloud tools, and then they're also giving out credits for those people who have already successfully cleared all the criteria and all this. So yeah, so please sign up, and then if you are planning to start a startup, okay, and then our cloud success manager will actually approach you guys to talk more about this. Okay, yeah, this is a very good one, and especially if you're doing Web3 or AI startup, right? They're giving more credits. Okay, so this is actually quite cool. Yeah. Okay, so that's all. And then that's about us. So if you want to know more about our GDG group, our GDE experts program, come look for me. Okay, I can share more. And somehow through. Okay, so in the case of emergency, please don't panic. Okay, just follow me. We'll head down over there. We'll go through the exit. I'll bring you out to the car park. Okay, and then there's Wi-Fi, so no login required. Just Google Guest. Just click in and you can access the Wi-Fi. Okay, cool. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, please get your friend to support. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you very much. So yeah, thank you, Lawrence, for giving a brief introduction about Google and the initiative that Google is currently taking in the startup. So yeah, this is our 24th meetup, K8SUG meetup. And as I said, yeah, we have 259. Now we have crossed 2,600, 3,000 members and 28% in the community growth in the last year. So today's topic, we have two topics. One from Arun Kumar, who is solution architect for Aqua security. He will be talking about shiplet security with Aqua Trivy. Aqua Trivy is the product offering from Aqua security, which is quite good. And then we are having Shang Ong, who will be talking about deploying ML model into production using containers. These are main sponsors: Google, CNCF, Code Cloud, CloudCasa. And for today, our event sponsors is Google and Aqua Security. This is the core team. Yongkang, he's the CNCF ambassador and the founder of K8SUG. So myself, Ritesh, and Fazil, we are the co-organizer. And K8SUG is currently in 3 regions. One is Singapore, Australia, Melbourne, and Canada. Soon we are going to come in UK as well. We have our active volunteer as well, Rama. This guy, you must have met him downstairs at the registration. Siva and Fatima, these guys are here. Siva, hands up. Fatima, thank you very much. So yeah, if you want to join us as a speaker, please scan this QR code, update yourself, your topic, and what you would like to speak about it. We would be more than happy to reach out to you whenever we have a slot. Volunteers, we look for the volunteers. If you are interested in volunteering for us, here is the volunteers, k8sug.com. And sponsors, if anybody is willing to sponsor us, or you know someone who's willing to sponsor us, please feel free to share the QR code. A brief, after these 2 sessions, there would be a quiz, and we would be giving the top 2 winner Code Cloud subscription for 6 months, full access, premium access for Code Cloud 6 months, and they will get a T-shirt and a socks from Aqua Security, and we will be selecting top 10. Rest 8 will get the T-shirts as a prize. And without any further ado, I would like to call Arun Kumar for Aqua Security to speak about this topic. Please give a round of applause.
Thank you.
I'll stop the sharing, then you share.
Okay, so hopefully people on the online can hear me now. Okay, perfect. Test. Okay. Hi guys. So nice to see all of you. First of all, really glad to be here at this very passionate bunch of people to share a bit more about Aqua's solution. For me, I'm Arun. As I was introduced earlier, I'm a solution architect here at Aqua Security. And today I'll be talking to you about shift left security with Aqua Trivy. So before I start, I just want to check with all of you if any of you have used Trivy before in any capacity. Okay, I see a few hands. That's good. And next question is, how many of you have heard of Trivy before? Okay, so that's great. So a lot of you people have not really heard of it before. Some of you have tried it, which is very good to see. So in this session, I'll be sharing with you about how it can be utilized, and feel free to ask any questions along the way. I'll be happy to answer them. Okay. So first of all, shift left, right? So what does the shift left principle really mean? Now, shift left began with as a principle with application development, right? So the idea was that you want to make changes to applications early in the cycle, right? So when you're deploying the applications in production, then the applications are not supposed to be changed, right? So it only became a reality when we had containers. Why? Because containers are supposed to be immutable, right? So anybody can tell me what is that's supposed to mean? Any guesses? Ephemeral, yes. So both are right answers, right? So the idea is that they're ephemeral and they're not supposed to change in real time. Okay, so that means that any change that you make to the containers has to happen in the development stage, right? And therefore, in the production cycle, when they are running, there's no changes happening to your workload. So you don't update or upgrade containers like the old workloads like the servers and VMs, right? Any changes that happen on the left, and on the right, you just change the workloads with a new image, right? So Same principle now needs to apply to security issues. So we want to detect security issues as early as possible in the application lifecycle so that it's easier to fix. Because all the changes are now happening where? In the development stage, right? So that also helps the companies to make sure that in the production, there is less impact on the resources and there's less impact on the business because the security issues are fixed before they're being introduced to your production environment, right? Another thing is that in production, it's more complex to fix issues. You can't easily make changes. The resources are more complex. They're more interdependent. So it's harder to fix, okay? So next part is Trivy. So Trivy is supposed to be a very sophisticated scanner, right? It's supposed to provide simplicity to scanning and identifying risks. So that's why we call it all-in-one cloud-native security scanner, which is supposed to simplify how you identify risks in your environment. It is open source, so it's completely free to use. And we are supposed to reach 20,000 stars on GitHub by end of this week, hopefully, right? So just to let you know, the second in the list is around 10,000. So that's how popular and accepted Trivy is in open source community, right? It is also used in Aqua enterprise solution. Okay, we do provide a Trivy premium version of it, so there's some advanced features, and but at the same time, the scanning engine is the same, which is same as open source. Okay, we also provide Trivy operator, which is deployed in Kubernetes clusters to give you continuous visibility into security risk of your running containers and Kubernetes environments. And also, it is also adopted by some of the largest companies in the ecosystem to run as a scanning engine and in the background of their offering, right? Today, we have 25% integrations with other projects in the cloud, including GitHub and GitLab. Okay, so for example, the senior product manager of GitLab summed it really well, where they mentioned that Trivy was a clear leader in the market when it comes to features, functionality, and capabilities, right? So let's talk a little bit more about that. So features, right? I mentioned Trivy is supposed to be an all-in-one scanner, right? So that means that scanning for vulnerabilities, scanning for misconfigurations, scanning for secrets and licenses, you can do that with a single scanner. Right? So it's very powerful, but then it addresses all of these targets. You can scan file systems where you're hosting your code. You can scan Git repositories. You can scan container images. You can also scan IAC templates like Dockerfile, Kubernetes YAMLs, CloudFormation, and Terraform templates, right? But you can also scan public cloud and Kubernetes clusters, and you can also build SBOMs. Does anybody know what SBOM stands for? Yes. Okay, can somebody help me give? Yes, software bill of materials. Can somebody explain to me what it is supposed to be? So software bill of materials is like a attestation, is a manifest that tells you what does your software consist of, okay? It tells you the ingredients of your software. It tells you the security risk of those ingredients. It tells you what vulnerabilities they consist of. It tells you what licenses they consist of, right? So just to let you know, in US, by the federal government now, it's a mandate that if you are a software provider, if you're distributing software to other companies, you need to provide a SBOM for their software. Right? So whatever application you're building, right? So Trivy helps you generate that. I'll show you that in a little while. But now we also introduce KBOM. Can anybody guess what KBOM stands for? Yes. Okay. I think I heard from there. So, okay, great. So KBOM stands for Kubernetes Bill of Materials, right? So Kubernetes is like now the operating system of cloud now. That is what is running your containers, your applications, right? But Kubernetes is built on multiple layers. There are multiple control plane components. There's a lot of components running in your worker nodes. You need to understand what is running in there and what is their security profile. So K-Bomb is helping you to achieve that, right? So that's Trivy as a whole, what we can do. So let's look at how it will actually look like in your environment, right? So you have a developer, imagine you're a developer and you're going to build an application, right? So nobody wants to reinvent the wheel, right? So developers will do what? They will use open source images. They will pull it from the repository, from public repositories or registries. They'll also try to copy some of the remote code that they don't have to write again, right? So how would that look like for a developer? So I'm a developer here, and I see this code repository, which is running with this link in this repository, right? And I want to use this. So before I even download this repository, what I can do is
when I check double data, but so I don't want to go off.
sorry, could you mute yourself? Whoever's on the online. Okay, so me as a developer, I want to scan that remote code repository. So I come here, I already installed Trivy in my IDE, and I say Trivy scan this repo, right? So Trivy will fetch the repo from that link, and it will give you the scan results over here. So me as a developer, I can see what components exist in this remote code repository across different programming files. And I can see what are their vulnerabilities. I can see what is the severity, what is the status, whether they are fixed or not, what is the installed version, what is the fixed version. So if me as a developer want to use this, I can find out the security risk, I can fix it, and then I can start using it, right? Now, similarly, I also want to use an open source image as a base image, right? So let's say I want to use Ubuntu, for example, right? So I say, hey, Trivy, scan this image for me and to tell me if it's secure or what is the risk. So Trivy will scan the image for me and tell me, okay, what are the libraries and packages that are inside this image? What is their vulnerability? What is the severity? And again, the fix for those vulnerabilities as well, right? So me as a developer, also, so now I have copied that code in my laptop, right? So it's in my laptop. I can see this is the folder. If I do ls, show me what's inside this folder. I can see these are the files that are inside the folder, right? So now I also want to make sure that whatever is on my computer. Yes, question? It is primarily on open source databases for Trivy open source, including NVD, right? If it finds that there's so it'll also have other sources like the vendors itself. So for example, a particular vulnerability, although it's critical for, let's say, open source Linux, but it's not critical for, let's say, a Red Hat Linux or Ubuntu, then it will reflect the Ubuntu base rating. Yeah. So severity scoring will be based on the vendor first. So there is like a model that we follow, right? Okay. And then based on that, yeah, correct. Yeah. Okay, but good question. So can we? Oh, we already gave you a sock. Sorry. So, okay, I want to ask Trivy to, hey, help me scan this local folder of my code as well. So I say, hey, Trivy, scan my file system for this folder. So Trivy will scan that and it will give me the results for the findings in here as well, right? Now it's up to me as a developer to fix these findings. but it gives me the visibility, right? Now, before I go on and start building the application, I also want to check, does my image consist of any licenses that should not be there, right? So I can say, hey, Trivy, scan my image and scan for licenses. And let's say I want to scan in this base image that I might want to use, right? So Trivy will scan for the license and it will tell me whether the license is, what licenses are inside this image for which packages and whether I'm allowed to use them or not. Okay, so now me as a developer, what I have done is that I have leveraged Trivy to scan the remote repository, to scan my local file system, to scan my image for potential threats. And now I feel that everything is secure, right? So now I want to move to the next step. What's the next step? Okay, I have written the code, I have pushed it to GitHub, and now I want to use my pipeline to check out the code, build my application image, and push it to my registry, right? So now what do you want to do? You want Trivy to act as a security gate, right? So you want Trivy to identify the risk in my in the application that I'm building and see if there's any risk, right? So here we have created a pipeline where the pipeline says, let me make it a bit bigger. The pipeline says, okay, check out the code from my repository, run it for vulnerability scan, and then use Ubuntu latest image, build the image, and then before you push it, I want to scan it, the image for vulnerability again. And if over here, I have put it 0 exit code, that means that even if I find critical vulnerabilities, I want it to pass the pipeline, right? But if I put it 1, and if the scan result returns a critical or high vulnerability, then Trivy will fail the pipeline. It will not allow the pipeline to push an unsecure application into my repository. Okay, so this has been set, and I'm also then initiating a scan for IAC as well. So I want to identify whether there are misconfigurations in what I'm deploying, right? So, and then what I have done here is that I have the output, I have put it to Serif template, which can integrate with GitHub to provide the feedback or findings to a developer within GitHub, right? So I've already run this pipeline. So the pipeline was run over here. I'll show you the pipeline run, right? So pipeline ran here, and I can see that all the stages ran, which was the container scan here. And I can see that the Trivy vulnerability scan ran here as well, and everything was passed, right? So now me as a developer, I want to see what are the findings. How do we? So the findings from the Trivy output will be within GitHub under security, right? So here you can see the security findings. And right now I'm only pushing the IAC findings here. You can also push in the other findings for licenses, for vulnerabilities, right? But I can see what are the findings here. Things like root file system is not read-only, right? So me as a developer can go in here and see what is the finding. I can see, I can also take action on it, whether I want to create an issue to fix it, or I can dismiss the alert, make it a false positive, or this is not a false positive, or you can say it's used in test, or you can say I won't fix it, for example. So this is how you're going to manage the automation part of response to the findings, right? And if you want to see what is the additional details of this finding, this is the link that you can click to open the Aqua database, where it will tell you what is the finding and where to find the answer or fix to it as well. Okay, so now what we have done with Trivy is that we have integrated into a CI/CD pipeline to scan the code, scan the image, and also the IAC misconfigurations. Okay. One thing I didn't talk about is SBOM. So you can also build an SBOM for the image. I'm going to show you over here. So you can say, hey, Trivy, take an image. No, wait. Okay. So I can say, hey, Trivy, I want you to build an SBOM for this image and give me the output, right? So you can click on this, Trivy will build the output, and I can see that in my folder here, right? And I can say, Trivy, show me the SBOM that I have just built. And you can say, and the Trivy output will show here. So this SBOM will consist of what is inside this image, what are the vulnerabilities, and what is the fix, right? In the enterprise version, you can also show the licenses over here as well. Okay, so this SBOM then can be used to distribute with your software. It can be used to distribute internally to different teams to show them what exactly is used to build this set of software. Okay, now going back to the slide, okay, we have achieved all this. We have made sure the software they're building is secure, the pipelines are secured. Now you're going to deploy your applications in your Kubernetes cluster, which can be running. Yes, that's a question. That's a good question. It is supported in the enterprise version, not so much in the open source version. So we can explore that options under the enterprise side, but not on the open source side. Yeah. There is a okay, Trivy operator for Red Hat OpenShift. Trivy operator. I need to check on that. I'm not 100% sure whether we have an operator from enterprise side for OpenShift. I need to make sure whether the open source Trivy operator is also available for OpenShift. That part I'm not 100% sure. I believe the answer is no for now, but I'll double check and let you know. Because I believe it's only for open source Kubernetes. Yeah.
Where does the database, the vulnerability database, where does it reside?
It resides in Aqua Cloud. So we manage and maintain it. We regularly update it on a daily basis. The data vulnerabilities and IAC checks and everything. So we maintain the database. We do need the what? So for open source Trivy, yes. For enterprise version, we have an offline database available, which you can keep, and then the enterprise version will talk to the offline database. So this will apply to your air-gapped environments, for example. Okay. Thanks, guys. Really great questions. So moving on, right? So next thing you're going to do is you're going to deploy your applications on a Kubernetes cluster, right? And they will run as containers. So it's also important for us that we secure the platform that runs your application. So that's where the operator comes in, but we can also use Trivy that I have on my laptop to scan the Kubernetes cluster as well. Right? And Trivy also allows you to do CSPM public cloud checks on their misconfigurations as well that you can do. right? So let me show that to you a little bit as well. If I come here, so I have my Kubernetes cluster here. Okay, I think I'm locked out. Give me a second. So what we will do is that we will run the Kubernetes scan of Trivy on the Kubernetes cluster, and that will give us the results of all the findings of the cluster. What is installed in the cluster, what are the different components, what is their security risk profile, and also the RBAC that is implemented in the cluster as well. Okay, so give me a second, almost done. Okay, I'm logged in. Let's do one more time. Okay, so now we have access. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a Trivy, run a scan on my Kubernetes cluster and give me a summary. So I'm saying summary because the scan report will be very big. So I just want to create a summary of it. This will take a minute or two to scan everything in the cluster. So it will take some time. And while that is happening, I will show you guys the Trivy documentation just to go over it. So this is an example of a Trivy report in HTML format, right? So you can create the reports. Just now I was showing you in CLI, which was a table format. You can create in JSON, you can create in HTML. You can build your own custom templates as well that you want Trivy to populate into, right? So here is the Trivy documentation. You can see how to get started. You can see the tutorials. There are docs here. So under docs, you can see how to run scans on Kubernetes, what are the different options. You can see the reporting capabilities, what different formats are supported. Template basically means you can build your own template that you want to use. You can see the how to scan an image, how to scan file systems, root file system. This applies to your operating systems in your VMs that you can scan for any vulnerabilities. Okay, so you have code repositories, virtual machine images, and so on. Okay, so let me check if the scan is still running. Okay, so while the scan is running, any questions from anybody? Yes? CloudSprite, that's a very good question. So CloudSprite is actually another tool from Aqua, right? And CloudSprite is used for CSPM scans. So CloudSprite's purpose is to scan for misconfigurations in your public cloud accounts. Okay, so what we are doing in the long run, we want Trivy to be the ultimate scanner. So we are adding the CloudSprite capabilities into Trivy slowly. Okay, so that's why you will see maybe one or two clouds over here, but eventually we'll see all the clouds over here. They will be to scan the public cloud accounts for misconfigurations. Okay. So far, it's supported for only one cloud, but eventually we will add support to the other clouds as well. Yeah, basically. So it's supported under CloudSprite, but as I said, we are going to introduce all the capabilities under Trivy. So it's single universal scanner for all the different needs. Okay, so while it's loading, I'll continue with the slide. So this shows you that Trivy can do end-to-end scanning and visibility for your environment, right? From the moment you start developing your application to your CI/CD pipelines, your image registries and your GitHub code repositories, to your runtime environments in your Kubernetes clusters as well. Okay. It's almost there. So what this will show you is a table of all the findings on this cluster, which will include all the resources, your Kubernetes infra findings as well, and RBAC that is inside there. So here you go. So here you can see, okay, first of all, what are my deployments across different name systems, including kube system, right? So I can see the Kubernetes control plane here. I can see the associated vulnerabilities. I can see the misconfigurations and secret findings, right? And then I can see the RBAC, what are the roles and role bindings defined inside the cluster, right? And their associated risk assessment. And in the end, also the infra assessment, which is no findings. So in a way, it's a good thing, right? So nothing critical there. So these findings, you can get detailed results as well. I'm just not showing you that today to lack of time, but you can try out the documentation and try out the different commands. Okay. So lastly, I will give you a quick introduction to the Aqua Enterprise version as well. So Aqua Enterprise version will work with your major cloud providers and also on-prem platforms like OpenShift and open source Kubernetes and so on. We integrate similar to Trivy with your build infrastructure. We'll secure in real time your containers, your serverless functions, and your virtual machines, right? So we provide the shift left capabilities, which will include entire end-to-end supply chain security, right? So it goes beyond what I've shown you today. It will give you open source health of your code, and it will give you SAST scanning. It will give you SCA in detail. It'll help you to automate the results that you get from the scanning using policy-based management, okay? And we'll also provide you with the shift right capability to secure your applications in real time when you're running in containers or VMs or serverless functions, okay? So that includes things like drift prevention. So drift prevention is a capability that makes sure that your containers remain immutable. So the promise of being ephemeral, the promise of not changing state in real time, we make it a reality with that feature, right? There's SNS workload scanning, there's KSPM, which is Kubernetes Security Posture Management, which includes admission control into your Kubernetes clusters. It gives you compliance for CIs, benchmarks, and so on, right? It also gives you micro-segmentation for your containers, right? And we ensure that the shift left and shift right are integrated. So the findings that are found in shift left allows us to decide whether the application should be allowed to run in shift right. And when you detect zero-day vulnerabilities in shift right, we can link you to the right code repository and images for the developers to fix it as early as possible. Okay. So next session, when we have it next month, another colleague of mine will be talking to you more about Tracy, which is our open source tool for shift right. So we'll cover more on how to do more of this side. I covered more of this side today on the left side. So next session, we'll cover more on the right side with open source tool Tracy. Okay. In the end, the platform also provides a data lake that provides basically, that's where all the findings go into to help us analyze it and prioritize the risk for you so that as customers or operators or security engineers, you can work on fixing the issues rather than identifying where the issue exists in the environment. Okay, so that's all for my session. These are some of the key links that we will share with you after the session. Yes, I'm open to any questions now. That's a very important question, right? So question is, do we have to install an agent for the infra? So if we go back, there are a bunch of use cases here, right? We support agentless and agent-based. Agentless gives you visibility. Agent gives you protection. We will stop attacks when they happen if you install the agent. If you don't install the agent, we can only give you visibility that there is this attack happening or there is this malware or this risk that exists in the environment. Okay. Any other questions? Yes. That's a very good question, right? So question is, what's the difference between open source and the Aqua's enterprise version of supply chain? So if you, the demos that I showed you earlier, they are very developer centric. They will give you all the findings, right? In the enterprise version, what we do is there's an UI for everything. All the reports will be stored in one place. There's policies for you to automate the results on the findings. So let's say you want to decide whether a code repository is compliant. You want to decide whether a pipeline should be filled based on the finding. If there's a log4j vulnerability, then I want to fill the pipeline. You can do that with enterprise version. It also gives you more accurate results. Our database for enterprise is bigger, better, more subscriptions to other vendors. So it gives you more accurate results. It also gives you more use cases. For example, SAST scan is only available with enterprise. SAST is not available with the open source. The feature that you see there, the DTA, this one, this is a desk capability for your app images. So we will detonate your image in sandbox and detect its behavior. So bad behaviors will evade your static scanners, but they will load scripts, they will do bad communication to bad servers when you execute the container. So we detect that for you as well. So these are some of the examples that I can give you, but there's more, but at a high level. Okay. Any other questions? Cloud workload protection, CWPP. So DTA is before you deploy your application in your environment. We are taking the image, deploying it in a sandbox that Aqua runs, and we tell you, hey, there's a cryptography running in this application. So then you can decide whether you want to run it in your own server or no. Yeah.
On the right is mostly runtime.
Correct. Correct. It is before runtime. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it for today. So thanks for all the amazing questions. Hopefully it was useful to you guys, and feel free to reach out to me afterwards to ask more questions and discussions. I'll be happy to have that. Thank you.
I need to PPT.
Yes, yes, yeah.
If anybody has any other more questions, you can reach out to Arun. He will be there. And he can take over all your queries. So do not worry. But we have to move on to the next session. Over to you. In the meantime, you guys can have their
production using Kubernetes. So give us some time.
So how do I put it? Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't see this.
You want to bring to that screen?
It's lagging. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay, guys, can you come back? We're starting. Can you unmute? Okay, this is for the online participants. You can also participate in the quiz. If you are one of the top 2 winner, you can also get Gold Crown subscription.
So it's pretty hard to follow after that. Actually, I'm pretty interested to ask a few questions myself, but then I'll have no time. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'll hold it.
Okay, Fazil, should we start? Okay, let's start.
So
On to you, Shane. Shang.
do I mute? You asked me to.
Yeah, it's unmute. That's fine.
Yeah,
Start.
okay. Okay, so hi everybody. I'm Shang, and I'm a solution architect at Loretta. We are a computer vision company, and lately we have been moving into LLMs, agents, building agents too. Today I'll just a show of hands, yeah. Just to know how much we know in the audience. How many of us have actually we have ML or AI in production already? Okay, good. Okay, then I'll swing all the way to the other extreme. How many don't know anything? Okay, so good. The majority of us is actually you do very well. I will try my best to um, touch on more of the introductory level facts. Yeah, for the minority of us. Yeah. So actually you can have pizza. Yeah, yeah, because most probably this will not be for you. Yeah. So this is an introductory talk on deploying ML models, and specifically for all of us, yeah, who are interested in containers. So mainly what we do is we actually work on defense applications. As what I mentioned, Loretta, we mainly work on defense applications, and so that's why we do a lot of on-premise stuff. But lately, we are moving to containers also, and that's how I learned about it, and that's why I want to share a little with everybody of us. So I actually turned educator during COVID, and because I was staring at the screen and I couldn't take it anymore. But now I'm back and loving it. Yeah, I actually quite like this. So my first introduction to ML is actually object classifiers. So what we had to do is at Republic Poly, we actually got a lot of very, very nice classification projects from the 30 under 30 by 30 was happening at that point of time. So we had to do a lot of image projects for random whatever. Yeah, I can't talk about that, but that's what we did. So I've been spending 2.5 years in video analytics, building video analytics projects, and as a software engineer and now a solution architect. So basically, yeah, forgive me, okay, because I have to read my slides sometimes. Basically, what are we going to do? So you can actually scan the QR code, it'll take you to the repo. What we're going to do is we're just going to look at a little bit of the ML side, pre-processing the data, and then we'll create our own clickbait. I'll talk more about it very soon. Basically, just a classifier, right? And then our main what we'll be mainly be doing is the state-of-the-art API models, containerization, and then deploying it. So, sorry, should I move back? Yeah, but never mind. You can actually get it later. Yeah. So our agenda will be 4 phases. One is actually the purpose and data. For now, we are going to touch on spam filtering, but that's only for today. yeah, for this particular application. I'm very happy to actually stay back later, talk to some of whatever you have in mind. This is very much business driven, right? Over here. For today, I just use a spam filter because I use this course in the Polytechnic. The next part will be model building. So I'll actually walk us through literally using account vectorizer, what this is. We'll look at setting up the pipeline, exporting the model. Next one, wrapping up the presentation. We will use Flask, but a caveat. If you are working on, if you actually, some of you have, you don't want to use Flask, right? You can actually use other things, for example, Fast API. And then at the end, we will talk about deploying the model. So like what I mentioned, because we have our roots in defense, we actually started on-prem. And then only after that, we start moving out, making our way to the other servers. So today, I'll just totally skip the first part because, I mean, that's not really the important thing here. Okay, so what are we actually working on now? So as what I mentioned, the spam filter. So basically just, I just collected a data set from Kaggle. So you can just, I will upload this and then you can actually just take a look at the spam filter from dataset on Kaggle, right? Once we got it downloaded, we can actually do some text pre-processing. So this is actually account vectorizer. For the purpose of time, I will not click in and go into it. But then basically what account vectorizer does is we'll just look in and count the number of words. So very similar to what you have in a matrix. Yeah. And also very similar to how the LLMs are working today. But of course, this is a statistical model. Yeah, nothing to do with neural nets. Okay. The next one would be setting up the pipeline. So we'll actually look at model training, text classification using logistical regression. So basically, very, very simple machine learning model. Logistical regression just basically tells you, is this clickbait or is this not? It's basically it's 1 or 0. And then testing it out. Everything will be done on the collab. And then we'll look at exporting the model. So basically, what we usually do after we train our own model, correct? So there are many count vectorizers out there. Why is this important? How does it work? It's because we train our model, we train the weights, which is now this here. How do we get it exported to make it available for the world? Because now it's actually just on a Colab notebook, right? We actually take a weight. Yeah, we export it into a file. Basically, all the weights are in this file, and we actually can do anything we want with it now. And then the next part would be, I'll talk about it later, which is the web app. How do you make it presentable and ready for others to use? Okay. Now, okay, I'm just gonna put this down. Okay. Okay, I hope this didn't screw up anybody's or whatever anybody can see. If not, please type into the chat. Okay. So basically, we start off with the dataset, data.csv. It's basically just just a lot of words. Yeah, basically it's just an Excel file, a lot of words, and then we have Y, which we are predicting here. Y basically just tells us I just believe the Kaggle dataset that basically when I say that the Kaggle dataset says that this is clickbait, I believe it. If this is not clickbait, I also believe it. Yeah. So since we have all this data, we load it into the count vectorizer, which, like what I mentioned, is a statistical way of actually knowing, okay, these words are actually more correlated to being clickbait. Yeah, that's basically it. We are just finding out how high the propensity is for these words to be used. So something interesting. How might we is actually very wait, something like that. Yeah, how something like this is actually one of the most correlated to being clickbait. Yeah. So then next we actually pre-process the data. At the pre-processing part, we are actually trying to come up with and actually do some model training very soon. Yeah. And then now, after we train a model, this is the part which I didn't talk about. We actually test it here. Yeah, because we have the count vectorizer already done, right? So we are actually just predicting, is this clickbait or not? And yeah, and then we actually save the model and we pickle it this way. Yeah. Any questions here so far? Okay, because I'll move to the next part. Okay. Okay, voila. Now we actually have a clickbait classifier. So we know, because we are using a logistical regression, we know whether or not this is clickbait or not. Yeah, of course, it could be wrong, yeah. So the question I usually get is, how do I know that it is 100% correct? And the answer is really just data. Yeah. So, oh yeah, correct. That is why LLMs are so popular and it works so well because of the massive amounts of data. B stands for billion, right? So whatever number is in front of it would be the size of the data. It keeps getting bigger and bigger. So now let us talk about wrapping up the presentation. So what does this mean? So when you have a pickle file, you can't really talk to it, right? So what are we going to do to allow this talking to happen? So there are two major ways. One of them is API. Fast API is a very, very nice Python library. Yeah. If you don't do Python, I suggest you pick it up because most of the libraries are written in Python first, and then they pass and then the rest comes in. Node.js, everything else comes in after that. Okay. So the way we are going to look at it is actually, or rather what we are going to look at is Flask. Okay. So we'll be looking at how to deploy the classifier and the APIs of Flask. The APIs will use it. So we design the API and then we use and we consume the pickled file. And then so in the backend we will have app.py, and then so the model will be here already, and then we use the results. The results will just have a template here. Yeah. So we basically create two files. Yeah, and these two files are app.py and index. Yeah, basically that's it. So if you have done any web programming, the index template is actually there's nothing there's nothing to it. So you know that there's nothing to it. So let's look at the app UI file. Okay, so basically the only you expose an API, and the only important thing is this. Yeah, this line of code, this tree code. So basically, you consume the pickle file and then you expose it in using the library. Yeah, the pickle library. So I pretty much talked about this. Yeah. So are there any questions here for this part? Because I'm bringing in Flask into the picture. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll just pause for a little while. Okay, and the last part is actually deployment. As I was talking about the different phases. Yeah. So for the deployment phase, what you will need to do, okay, there are, sorry, I actually should say that there are multiple ways to do deployment. Okay, I actually forgot to put one slide in. So there are multiple ways to do deployment. On-prem is one of them. There are several cloud ways to do it. Yeah. So if you do it on-prem, I don't advise you to do that because it's really, really very painful. Yeah, because you have to take care of every single thing yourself, the server, everything. You have to do that yourself. So it's a nightmare. I think it's not advisable. So I'm not working for Google but I do think that if you wrap it in a container because it's easy, really you should just let the IaaS do all the work for you. Yeah. And one of them is GCP GKE. Yeah. So again, I'm not paid by them, but I really think it's much easier because I have sleepless nights because of the on-prem version. Yeah. So so because we have a retail arm, that's why when I pasted the cloud side, I was like, oh, wow, where has this been gone for so long? Yeah, because they take care of everything. Okay, so the way you actually go about doing it is you just create a container, right? So these are the few steps. You install Docker, you create a Docker file. I can't see it. Yeah, you just create a Docker file. You load a few things in. You tell it that this is a Flask app, and then you run it. Yeah. So let me try running it now. Actually, it is ran already. So let me bring this. Yeah. So actually, I run my own machine at home. So I did not have this on my Mac. Yeah. So actually, what I did was I just downloaded it from Docker Hub. Yeah, and then I just ran it. So literally, let's see that. You can see it because my last two commands are that. Why is it so slow? Yeah, my last two commands are pull, and then I ran it. So this is actually the bare bone project. So do you want to try a clickbait? So let's say, yeah. So basically, nobody should put the word scam in their own whenever they are trying to get clicks, right? So of course, please go ahead. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Very good. So the question is, what if I type in free gift? So I always use this, but this is obviously it is not.
Bien, unisaidie kunifungua kwa mlango pale Jojo kwa namba njoo kushutuka hapa sasa. Niko deja mwita. Okay.
Yeah, so it's clickbait. Yeah. So I think the word free gift is quite because they come together, right? So there's a very high propensity that free gift when it's come to get when the word, but free on its own might not be, but free gift together might be considered a very high chance to be scam. Or okay, whether clickbait, yeah. Okay, this is not an LLM. That's why I was saying that. So that you asked about so this is how semantics work, correct? Yeah. There's no semantics in this. Yeah. The like what I said, these users, yeah, I really can't see what I'm clicking, but this uses the Kaggle data set and the count vectorizer actually basically just counts the number of words. Basically, like what I said, free and gift, when it comes together, there's a very high propensity that this is scam. And then when there's one word, it might not be. So free gift together, maybe yes. One word free, maybe no. Okay.
So basically create a matrix with count for the specific word text. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Okay. Actually, since everybody is asking about this, let me open up that page. Yeah, you might just want to take a picture of this because it's quite a nice. Oh no, not this one. Okay, no. Oh no, where's mine? Okay, there's a very, very nice, if you go online and Google, there's a very nice explanation of what a count vectorizer is. So I think when I was going through the iterations, I deleted that link from it. But basically, like what the gentleman asked, he actually mentioned, is this a matrix? Yes, it is. It is a matrix and it also ties together words. Yeah, so like the example I was giving, the word free might not be highly associated with being scam, but the word free gift together might be. Yeah, so basically they just talk about tokens. Yeah, these two words token together. Yeah, maybe that's yeah, add up together. Yeah. Okay, the question is, how do I maintain this in production? So my recommendation is to use cloud services if it is possible. Yeah. The reason why is because I have to actually get up 12 midnight to actually on the server. Yeah. If you use an on-prem, yeah, actually power becomes an issue. Network cables getting because somebody moved and the network cable got snapped, it got plugged out of the server. All these things become an issue, and we have had we actually because all of us were software engineers at the start. When we started working on it, we didn't think about hardware at all. So we just always keep debugging. Why is there no IP address? And then at the end of the day, we find out no, the cable is not even plugged in, right? yeah. So it can be as simple as that. So don't kill yourself. Yeah, if you can, don't kill yourself. Yeah, but saying that, I know that especially for training. So if you have your own internal network, right? Especially for training, getting on-prem servers might be a very good idea because the GPU is yours. Yeah, so there's a I usually do this when I'm consulting for a company. I basically tell them about the costs also associated with it, and I tell them sometimes maybe the mixture of everything might be the good idea. Meaning this, the mixture of all of them might be a good idea. If an air gap solution is not a must, then a bit of cloud and a bit of on-prem with the server yours, and then you can train it anytime you want, and also you serve several of your customers. Yeah, please. Yes, it's a very simple spam tracking solution. Like what I said, I'm not even talking about this today. This is not part of the talk. I just had to use this as an example. Yeah, because I mean, it's the simplest business case of all. I think everybody will understand it.
How do you determine the cutoff with like a average of the lowest and the highest? Is it
Yeah.
cutoff?
Yeah, so the question is how do I determine clickbait, right? So basically, because this is the beauty of account vectorizer, and also this is the beauty of this, right? So you have the entire corpus. This is what we call it, the corpus. So we have all the words in it. Because we have information on clickbait, the ones, and then we have information on those which are definitely not clickbait. Yeah, we have information on those which are not clickbait, the zeros, right? Eventually you'll see it. Then basically, the more which words which are used which are not clickbait, uh, the more you know that this is not clickbait for sure, right? Statistically, and the more it is used in clickbait titles, the more you know that it statistically it definitely is clickbait. This is just using pure maths and data. And that's why I mentioned a frequently asked question is, how do I get it very accurate? And the answer is, have a lot of data. If you have internet scale data, then no problem. Yeah, you have you can start to compete against Singtel, Singtel service. Yeah. Okay, actually, I think 5 minutes is way long ago up. So yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Shang. Thank you very much. Thank you for the
Yeah, thank you.
informative session. Okay, again to the online candidates, you can also participate in the quiz. If you are from one of the top two, you are also eligible to get Code Cloud subscription, premium subscription 6 month.
No issue loading the program.
Okay, so now it's a quiz time. Scan the QR code. So for this quiz, we have enabled guest mode, so you should not have any trouble. It should not ask you for any email address. Hopefully you guys are able to access. Can you see the page, welcome page? I'll keep this on for another 10-15 seconds.
Hi, can you please share screen on Zoom?
Hi, Ritesh. We cannot see your screen. Could you please share your screen? We can't
Yes,
see any
sorry,
code or
I'll share the
stuff.
screen.
Yeah.
My bad.
Thank you.
Can you
Yes,
guys
it is.
see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, I'll keep it on for 10 seconds more for the online participants. I hope online attendees have already scanned the QR code. So now I'll move on with the quiz. Oh, it's asking for code. Okay. Let me start it. It should not usually ask the code, but let's start the quiz. It does not ask for the code, right? On the
No. Well, whatever. Start.
Okay.
You scan.
Yep. This is the code. If it is asking 808459.
It should not. It's already used.
Okay. Yeah. So we have 14, 19, 20, 21, 22. Wow, nice. 23. We will wait for 31. Nice. Nice. 34. Forty-three, 47, 48, 50. Keep going. Okay. I'll wait for another 5 seconds. All right, I'll start. For online attendees, if you are in top two, make sure you ping your email address so we can send to you the 6-month Code Cloud subscription. All right, so here we go. Here comes the first question. You guys are on the same thing, right? Okay. 3, 2, 1. You will have 20 seconds to answer. What can Trivy scan? Scan. Vulnerabilities, license, misconfiguration, or all of the above? All of the above. So, okay, it's not a leaderboard. Go to next question. Which target is not supported by Trivy for scanning? Container images, file system, network system, Kubernetes cluster. Nice. What does SBOM consist of? Composition of application, vulnerabilities, licenses, or all of the above? Okay. Trivy can be used to integrate with CI pipeline as a security gate. True, false? I think 20 seconds is too much for this answer. This question. True. Okay. Only there is one participant gave false. Nice. OV is still leading the board. Okay. How is Trivy licensed? Per code, per developer, enterprise agreement. Trivy is free and open source. Free and open source. All right. We'll move on to the second topic for today. Which platform can be used for deployment of containers with ML projects? GKE, AWS EBS, Flask Web App, or GCP App Engine? Okay, 31 said the right answer. Okay, OV still leads the board. What is the type of file created when exporting the trained mode? Classifier, pickle, vectorizer, predict, logical regression. Okay. Okay. Question 8. Which of the option has the strongest dependency on business requirement? Dataset, model building, wrapping up, deployment. Dataset. Okay. 9th. Which are possible ways of presenting a model? Using a web app, using container, Download it on-prem server, exposing APIs. This is a bit confusing. Best of luck. This one you have to just go, okay, akkad bakkad ba, done. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, done. Okay. Only 8. Only 8 got it right. All right. Fazil. So we'll end the quiz and we'll see the leadership board. All right. So we'll be giving it out to first 10, and yeah, we'll start. The first two winner is Ovi and Shankar. Ovi is from here. Who is Ovi? And Shankar? Okay, so you guys are here. Sorry guys who are online, better luck next time. So, yep. Photo. Okay. Yeah. So, Ovi, come on the stage. We can get them. So what size t-shirt? L or M? Yeah. It should be one, either L or M.
L.
L. And later give your email address to Fatima or L. L.
Thank you.
Take the photo. We need to advertise also, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shankar. I think for him also L. L. Okay. Shankar, later give your email address to Fatima or him. Third, IC2A. Okay. What's your name? IC2A. Okay. IC2A. That's nice. Gautam. Now, Gautam, do we have Gautam? Oh yeah, he's here. Vignesh Sikaran.
I am online, so fine.
Vignesh.
Vignesh.
Do we have
Maybe
Vignesh?
online. Maybe online.
Okay, if he's online, then no. So we'll move on to next one. Tony C. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Tony C. Amit. Kishore. Do we have Kishore? Kishore? Okay, Kishore.
Sure. Okay.
For now, you take it. Later, you come and
Yeah,
get
later
it.
I can change it.
Okay, so whoever has got the t-shirts, if the size does not fit you, for now, keep it with you. And then later come to us and get your size. Okay. Ritesh.
You right.
We have two Ritesh. One is Ritesh Gurung and Ritesh Hegde. Ritesh, we will be L. Excel. Okay. Okay, we have a conundrum here. 22. Your conundrum 22. Nice. Why you guys don't put your name? Privacy?
PDPA, bro.
Okay. Okay, since one person is from online, we'll take the another one. Cyril. Oh, he's your teammate. Okay. How can I be sure? Yeah, just come. Okay, Cyril, sorry, Cyril. Be seated, be seated. Sorry. Okay, come. Your name? so much. Okay, you can come and take it for Vignesh Swikaran. He's online?
We can do it later. Okay.
Okay, never mind. Cyril, you can come and take it.
Sure.
If you confirm, I still give you. Don't worry.
He's a friend.
Yeah.
Audio control.
All right, that's it. We are done for the day. Just before going, I would request everyone to just come here. We'll take a selfie, a group photo. It will just take 2 minutes. Please come here. We'll have the winners here. Come on, guys, please. Yeah, just in the center. Come on. Ram? Ram? My phone. Guys, squeeze in, and those who are in front, they can sit down. Just squeeze and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Right. The last one. Right, thank you guys. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your day. Thanks. And yeah, two people going. Those who guys want, they can take the beer, take home. Whoever want, just clear the fridge. Okay? Whoever want, they can take the beer, take home, drink here, drink out. Just enjoy. Clear the fridge. Thank you.